My mother-in-law, she totally impersonated me at my daughter's school, can you believe it? Then, in court, when the judge read what she'd written, this manipulative garbage, she just lost it, sobbing like a baby. My husband's parents, they actually laughed when I got promoted. You'll never balance work and family, they warned me like I was some kind of idiot. Months later, boom, they show up out of the blue. We're here to save your marriage, they announced. Little did they know how their help would blow up in their faces. I've been married to Adam, my husband, for 12 years now. I'm 38, we live in a nice, quiet suburb of Columbus, Ohio. I work in hospital administration downtown, a decent-sized place. Adam teaches history at a high school. We have 2 kids, Ben, who's 7, and Lily, she's 10. About a year ago, I got promoted to director of operations. It was huge, more hours, way more responsibility, and a serious pay bump. I was thrilled. Adam seemed happy for me, really proud, actually, but his parents, not so much. The day after my promotion, his mom, Lily, called. "Congratulations," she mumbled, but then hit me with, "Are you sure this is a good idea? Your kids need their mother." Then at dinner, his dad, George, chimed in. "Marriage is hard enough these days," he said, all serious. "You're working so much more, I hope you know what you're doing." I just brushed it off. They've always been old-fashioned, believing women should stay home. But Adam and I always split things fairly, even when I was busy. He was more than capable of handling things at home. Things were pretty hectic, but manageable after I'd been at the job for 3 months. Adam and I were handling the calendar stuff. The kids were doing great, and yeah, we were getting by even with those late nights now and then. Then one Friday, as I was about to leave the office, my phone vibrated. It was a text from Lily. "We're here." I was totally thrown. I called her like, "Here, where?" she said. "At your place, sweetie. We figured we'd surprise you, and we're here to help." To save our marriage, basically. I was just stunned. They'd just up and driven from their place in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, without telling us. They'd already brought their bags in and settled into the guest room. When I finally got home, Lily was rearranging my spice rack in the kitchen. George was in the living room, giving Adam a lecture about the importance of family dinners. Lily explained, "We could see the stress, thought we'd step in before things went south." I looked at Adam, expecting him to be as shocked as I was, but he just seemed okay with it. He admitted they'd called earlier. I just never thought they'd actually show up. Our house turned into a war zone in the next few days. Lily took over the kitchen and started ripping apart my grocery choices. George was insistent on running family meetings every night, pointing out all the issues he saw in our relationship. They second-guessed everything, our schedules, how we were raising the kids, even what we watched on TV. Lily told me I should cut back my hours or find an easier job. "The kids need you," she kept repeating. I tried to stay calm, but I just couldn't. Adam sort of tried to smooth things over, but it wasn't working. After a really rough dinner one night, I went to them. I started by saying I appreciated them caring, but this was our house. Showing up unannounced and constantly butting in wasn't helping anyone. Lily looked upset. She said they were just trying to help. I asked if that meant undermining everything we did and forcing their beliefs on us. George stood up and said maybe they should go. I told them maybe they should have called first. Things were super tense as they left the next morning. That night, Adam and I talked for a long time. He said he should have set boundaries sooner. I told him I thought they'd just offer some advice and then leave. I never expected this. I said we needed to be on the same page. Our marriage, our kids, those were our decisions to make. He agreed. We decided to stop talking to his parents for a bit so we could focus on our family and get back to normal. About a month later, we got a letter from Lily and George. They admitted they'd overstepped and apologized for intruding. They said they wanted to fix things, but they'd respect our boundaries. There was a check for a lot of money for the kids' college fund. The letter said it was a surprise, a way to show they meant what they said. We were a little wary of their apologies at first. I figured that check was just them feeling bad, like, oops, our fault, and tossing us a bone for the kids. It sat in my purse for ages before I even cashed it. It felt weird. A few days later, Adam got a call from his brother, Dave. I was in the kitchen and I heard the whole thing. I hadn't heard Adam sound that angry in forever. I asked him what was up. After he hung up, he said Dave had spilled our guts, told him we were broke, maybe splitting up, and that Lily and George swooped in to save the day. "Wait," I said. "They said what?" He said they made it sound like we were practically begging for money, that we needed a bailout. That check, it wasn't a gift, it was a weapon. They told the whole family we were a disaster, that my job messed everything up, and that Adam was barely holding it together. In their version, I was the villain, and it didn't stop there. One Saturday, we took the kids bowling for a birthday party across town, and guess who was in the parking lot? Lily and George. We saw them as we headed back to the car. They didn't even try to hide it. Lily gave this fake smile and said, "Oh, we were just in the neighborhood, wanted to see how you were doing." Check-in, 2 weeks later. This happened 3 more times outside my hospital, at Ben's soccer game, and at the grocery store. It was relentless. "Just in the area," they'd say, acting all shocked to see us. I was burning up. When Adam finally told them to stop, saying, "We're family," Lily said we should be able to see the kids. Next came the school meeting. Lily's teacher emailed, wondering if we'd requested a change to her after-school program. Nope, we hadn't. Lily had called the school pretending to be me. Apparently, to fit Lily's schedule, she'd tried to change her pickup time because, as she put it, working moms can't always remember everything. I totally lost it. That night, I called Lily. "You impersonated me at my kid's school?" I asked. She snapped back, "Well, somebody had to do something. You're not always around." I was speechless. I handed the phone to Adam, and we told them we were cutting off all contact. They'd crossed the line. I knew, though, that they weren't done, not by a long shot. 2 weeks later, HR pulled me aside at work. "We got an anonymous tip about your performance," they said. "Concerns about you bringing personal stuff into the office." My stomach dropped. It was vague, just enough to make things confusing. HR said they needed to look into it, but I wasn't told anything specific. I was sure it was them. During their visit, Lily had offhandedly mentioned that my long hours must be affecting my thinking. She kept at it, even though I never shared any work details with her. I wasn't going to let this slide. I started recording everything. Every single phone call, every little thing that felt like it was planned, and all the whispers we didn't say out loud. Adam was barely hanging on. Then the final blow came. He found out they'd been secretly chatting with Lily, saying things like, "Even though Daddy tries hard, Mommy's always working, and marriages fall apart when people get too busy." They were poisoning her, our 10-year-old. Adam lost it. He called them up and yelled at his parents for the first time ever, told them they were done over, not welcome anymore. He threatened to sue if they even thought about contacting our kids again. Lily was in tears. George called him ungrateful. Adam didn't give a damn, though. He blocked their numbers. Done. 3 days later, we got a letter in the mail. It was a legal envelope, certified. We were being sued. Thank God it wasn't about custody. But Ohio law gives grandparents visitation rights. I couldn't believe it. We had no idea they were even considering this. But there it was, Ohio law allowing grandparents to ask for court-ordered visits under certain conditions. They even had a case claiming the grandkids were suffering because we'd unfairly cut them off. It was real. It was happening. We were getting dragged to court by my in-laws. And the worst part, it might actually work. We got together with Rachel, a lawyer. This lady, she knew how to handle family drama, no sugarcoating. She just listened to our story, then totally got it. They had been collecting evidence, you know? The check they sent, the school calling, showing up everywhere. It wasn't by chance. They were building a case. I felt my stomach flip. She looked over at me and said, "They're trying to make you look like you're never around and Adam like he's a mess." Which Adam is a mess, but that part's ridiculous. We've never even fought in front of the kids. Rachel just nodded. "It's all about how they make it look, not the truth," she said with a sigh. "And they've been at this for months." Rachel said we should cut off everyone and just stop talking. Only tell the people we knew we could trust about what was going on. That's when I realized something I'd been ignoring. Jenna, Adam's cousin, had been calling a lot lately, asking these innocent questions. "How's work going? Is Adam sleeping okay? Do the kids miss their grandparents?" It all clicked. She was feeding information to Lily and George, so I tried a little experiment. I casually mentioned to Jenna that I was thinking of quitting my job. It was just a hypothetical. 2 days later, my boss at the hospital jokingly asked if I was doing okay and offered to take some of the pressure off my workload. It was all about wearing me down, making it look like I was cracking. Adam confronted Jenna. She didn't even deny it. She just said, "They're just worried." It's crazy, they actually think I'm tearing the family apart. A week before the hearing, Lily came to me all choked up. She was so upset, saying they blamed her for making Grandpa unhappy. She handed me this little notebook, all flowery and cute. I had no clue she even kept a journal. Inside were pages and pages of stuff Lily and George had shared with her over FaceTime months ago, things we never knew about. Like, "Your mom would be around more if she really loved you," or "Your dad's too worn out to take care of you," stuff like that. And then the kicker, "Families break up sometimes, but it's not your fault." I was a mess that night, crying my eyes out. Adam wanted to just burn the whole thing, but no way. I told him this was our ammunition. 2 days before court, another letter from their lawyer showed up. This time it came with proof, supposed evidence of this amazing grandparent-grandchild bond. They'd included printed screenshots of messages, and Lily hadn't even bothered to hide the timestamps. One showed them talking about coaching the kids with Jenna. Another was a note from George himself, saying something like, We'll trash her reputation. Even if we lose, she'll have to quit her job. Adam's hands were shaking. We got everything to Rachel immediately. She called it a godsend. This shows their true intentions, she said. This isn't about love. They're trying to take control. The night before the hearing, forget sleeping. Adam and I were both up all night, Lily's journal right there beside us, their printed messages too. It was a total nightmare. Look, we've got the paperwork to back it up. We only asked for space when things got really bad, and we never blocked them from seeing the kids. But honestly, we were scared. Our family was in their crosshairs. It wasn't like they were worried about the kids either. They wanted to destroy me, plain and simple. They craved to win. My mom was the one person Lily had underestimated. Joyce, my mom, she's 67 now, and she's usually quiet. But during the little bit of time she spent with us last winter, she'd seen it all. She'd watched Lily trash-talking me. She saw George scream at Adam in front of the kids. She witnessed them constantly trying to control everything we did. She agreed to testify. She said, I haven't spoken up in ages, but they aren't getting away with this. The court date is coming up, and I'm ready. The courtroom was super quiet and felt cold. His parents sat on one side, and Adam and I were on the other. It felt like a funeral in there. Lily was dressed in all black like I'd stolen something from her. George just kept glaring at me. The judge was a middle-aged woman. She spoke calmly, but she was clearly serious. She looked like she'd seen it all before. Lily spoke first. She cried like a lot and said how much she loved the kids. She acted like she was a heartbroken grandma who was being unfairly shut out. George went next. He held back the tears. He just went on the offensive. He told the judge that I was too focused on my career and that I'd left Adam to fend for himself. It was so painful to see how emotionally distant our kids were. He actually called me chilly. Can you believe that? Then it was our turn to speak. Rachel quietly handed the judge Lily's diary. She stood up ready. Next, they presented all the printed texts and emails. The whole mood in the courtroom shifted. The court read a few parts of the diary out loud. Lily's words were chillingly clear. Your mother doesn't give a damn. And your father is too tired to raise you. She even wrote, maybe you'll come live with us after they split up. Lily's face just went completely pale. George clenched his fists. Then the messages started coming out. George's were the worst. He wrote things like, we'll ruin her name. And even if we lose, she'll have to leave her job. The judge slowly looked up. She said, this isn't about love, it's about control. Then my mother showed up. She didn't scream or anything, she just stated the truth. She said she saw Lily yelling at me for making boxed mac and cheese. She saw George yelling at Adam for doing laundry like a woman. She saw how they twisted everything into a criticism. Then she just made a direct point. She said, they weren't there to help, they were there to take over. The judge didn't take too long to make her decision. After all the evidence, she ruled against George and Lily. No grandparent rights, no visits, no contact. But then she did something surprising. She warned them. If I ever see anything like harassment or stalking aimed at this family again, restraining orders are going to be filed. Adam and I just sat there, totally stunned. Lily started to cry. George looked like he was about to explode, but it was over, almost. We figured we'd just go home and try to pick up the pieces in peace, but the news spread through the house like wildfire. Jenna, Adam's cousin, got pulled into it too. Her parents were furious. Turns out she was a spy. She sent us a text message trying to apologize. We didn't respond. Then something weird happened. I got a phone call from an old neighbor back in Lancaster. They said that George had been boasting about the lawsuit before it even happened. He was bragging about how he would punish the working wife for not following tradition. So I did something I never thought I'd do. I forwarded every email, diary entry, and message to the school board where George used to be on the board. As it turned out, he still occasionally trained new teachers. No more, though. They let him go. Every single job he had in town was gone. Adam told me he didn't want to destroy his father. I didn't either, but he did. The truth is, I messed up too. I turned a blind eye. I missed the warning signs. I thought being nice would be enough. It wasn't. People who see your independence as a threat can't be reasoned with. Someone else's problems can't be fixed. Your life can't be fixed either, but you can fight back. It turns out sometimes you just gotta show a bully what happens when you stop playing nice. That's the only way they learn, you know. 6 months have gone by now. No contact whatsoever. Not a single call, letter, or surprise visit. Things are amazing with Adam, honestly, better than ever. Ben and Lily are doing great too. I'm still working, feeling so much stronger and wiser now, and finally people appreciate me for who I am. George and Lily, on the other hand, they're running around telling everyone we cut them off for no reason. Let them talk. They lost. We're free. That's all there is to it.